Life is what you're gifted with, but living life is what you make of it. Our chief guest for tonight, Mr. Kaisar Dopaishi, is the beacon of action, principal of Singapore International School, president of South Asia IB School Association. He is a part of the accreditation team for IB and Middle States Association of Schools and Colleges, Philadelphia. Workshop leader for IB Economics. Mr. Kaisar is also the recipient of the 12th Shankaracharya Jayendra Saraswati National Award for his outstanding contribution in the field of education by National Education Society and Saraswati Vidya Bhavan. Mr. Kaisar is also an advisory on our board of advisors, and he is also going to unveil for the first time the Education Leadership Forum plans involving the leading educationists of India. Sir, please come on stage. We welcome you.
Very good evening to all of you. It appears that my involvement in this organization is growing and is becoming less advisory and more like an activist. Suggestion given here was to start an education leadership forum, and to this end what we are doing is getting all the principals on board here. So we are having a core committee, and they would be consisting of certain group of schools which we are I'm closely working with. And in this committee are people, leaders from all over India. So we would be having the NES group of schools, which are 52 schools and colleges. Dr. Vardarajan, who will be with us here. From the Podar group, we will be having Dr. Vandana Lula. And there is the Indian Public Schools, another group down south. And we'll be having Mr. Rajkumar, the head of the school over there, the academic director, Dr. Sonali Deep, and a couple of more which we are putting across, who would formulate a kind of a forum, and hopefully we will put out issues regarding the education world and perhaps act like a group which can actually communicate with different agencies of the government, also talk in terms of research component and things which you are doing here, which are pretty much education related, be it your psychometric tests and DMIT tests. There's a lot you can do with that data. Every school, whether it is a small school, a small organization, or a big organization, it is awash with data. There's plenty of data with all schools. The question is, what do you do with this data? If you don't analyze the data and use the data, it is as good as not having it. So if you put a child in a school, I'm sure a lot of you parents, number of you are parents, and you have filled an admission form and 101 questions are asked over there. A lot can be done with those questions. A lot can be done with that. So the Education Forum would be using this kind of data, coming with some analysis of this, and hopefully acting like a good pressure group and working for the community on the basis of collaboration and cooperation. So the idea is at some point of time have a conference in which we invite different principals of different schools, national and international curriculum. I, leading the South Asian IB Schools Association, would all our principals, etc., would be kind of part of it, hopefully, inviting them on this forum, as well as people we know in the national forum. And we hope that that kind of group both enlightens all of you with regards to what our needs are, and to all the stakeholders, whether it's government in particular, whether it is parents, and if you look at the community, you are one of the stakeholders. Perhaps not directly, but definitely one of the stakeholders in the education ecosystem. So our hope is that this little initiative, which Taj Eduglobe kind of has backed it and wants to take it forward, we are happy. And when I spoke to my colleagues in other schools, they were pretty happy to have that. And perhaps the next time you will meet, we would begin with a kind of a panel discussion based on some economics, based on some educational issue, and see its linkage to what you are doing. And the R&D could be provided with the data available, with the kind of people we interact. So the 1,500 people, odd people sitting here, is just one element of the stakeholders. The key component, I believe, is the child. So here we are not talking about the product actually. At least I'm not talking about it. I'm talking in terms of the student. Whatever we do, at the end of the day, if you happen to be in the education sphere, it's about that child. It's about that. It's about that learning. To that element is what you are doing by way of all your DMIT test, is knowing that learner. And I believe that's not core business. I believe it's the business of the community. Because every learner who comes out hopefully becomes a leader at some point. And leadership is not really looked at from the perspective of being a prime minister or a business leader. He could be a leader in his family, he could be a leader in his community, and there are many, many areas where this servant leadership kind of a thing needs to be promoted. There's a lot needs to be done. And more and more as businesses look at themselves, we look at it from the perspective of CSR, corporate social responsibility. And this educational leadership forum, I believe, is a step in that direction, because it's through that CSR that the community grows and we get to know each other. So our hope is that, as is said here, let's join hands and grow together. I don't think it's just about you guys. I think it's about the whole community called education. And if you take your vision a little higher, perhaps you will see more businesses. Okay? Thank you very much. I think that much as far as the education and leadership forum goes. It's indeed a delight to see whole lot of people here. It's growing, and this is my third time coming in, becoming almost a permanent fixture here, it looks like. But I understand that something good needs to be supported.